Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mano 777, and we're back inside of Destiny, here with a look at some late-breaking news. There is a new secret quest or secret virus that is going around the Destiny player base. We're going to be covering around all the information that we know about right now, including chat logs, including the new website, and everything else that you need to know about this. So if you find something in this video to be worthwhile, hit that subscribe button. A positive rating would be greatly appreciated. And if you find something in this video to be worthwhile, I mean, leave a comment down below. It lets me know that the content that I'm bringing you is something that you find interesting. So with that, guys, I'm going to get into it. Reports of this first came in after the scheduled maintenance that happened in Destiny earlier on Thursday, September 15th. A number of people were reporting that there were new things being transmitted to them in Crucible, and it also gave their basically their Guardians sort of like a electronic tick, kind of like electronic bug kind of aura about them around their head, kind of like the Nightfall buffs that we used to have in year one. There are some different colors and some different things like that, but we're going to be talking about that here in a minute. But one of the things that we saw that came up once we did some searching was a new website that came up on Bungie.net called the owlsector.bungie.net. If you look at the screen itself, there is a lot of interesting things. You can see that it is the Owl Sector Emergency Reporting Console. It says, please remain calm. It sort of sounds like an early warning system of some sort. It's kind of interesting because maybe when all of the things are unlocked, maybe something's going to happen. Maybe that's when we know Rise of Iron and Siva is going to be released. You can see a picture of the Vanguard symbol up on the top left-hand side, and it says on my screen, last scan at 3 hours since initialization. And I've actually taken some video. I'm doing this a little bit afterwards, but if you look down below, you'll see a number of different buffs that are listed in underneath the map. They're called Brilliance 3.2, Glory 2.1, Splendor 2.6, Magnificence 2.0, and Fortitude 3.1. And if you look at the bottom left-hand side, you can see essentially like a pie schematic that I think is showing what percent of the player base in Destiny has these items, like proportionally, what does everyone have, you know? And so it looks right now like Brilliance and Magnificence are the ones that are the most common. I know that those were the ones that were easiest for me to get. I actually picked those up in the Crucible. I just sniped a guy who had both of those things, and I was able to pick it up. But it looks right now like the Legendary, the Fortitude 3.1 is the least common throughout the universe, followed by Glory 2.1. Splendor 2.6 has actually been out, and some things have been updated. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the right-hand side of your screen if you want to go check out that website, and there's going to be a thing that says Open Owl Sector Records. Well, what the heck is the Owl Sector? It is obviously some kind of secret group that is working kind of with the Vanguard, but there's also the Hidden that exist in the Destiny universe, and they're kind of led by Ikora Ray. They're kind of this Ikora Ray spies, so we're going to be checking that out. Another thing that is interesting is OWL could stand for something like Orbital Weapon Lancet, which is a sci-fi term that exists in basically sci-fi novels and literature. So that could be something, especially in how it relates to the war mines. We know that the war mines have essentially like orbiting satellites that can essentially shoot from Earth or Venus or Mars and shoot down onto the planets down below. So it could have something to do with that. Maybe some Guardians have overtaken that, and maybe they're saying this is something that we can actually use. That's just speculation, but just a thought and something that was posted on a couple of Facebook groups that I am part of. So once you click the thing that says Open Owl Sector Records, you can see that there's a number of chat logs that exist for each of the buffs. The first one is Brilliance 3.2, and it reads, Owl Sector Internal, OSI61. It says, how long since we last convened? I can still recall the Dawn Calamity, so not long ago. I've got consistent and strange reports coming in from across the system. Try me. A few Guardians in the field report being swarmed by some kind of electric might. The first few after visiting the Dust Palace on Mars, but the rest from all over. How bad? Fantastic, apparently. At least that's what they're yelling all over comms. Is Happy shouting a medical issue? Do we take this to the Vanguard? Ikora first. The Hidden might know something. So next up, we're going to go over to Magnificence, and Magnificence read, Report of Bypass Authority Burial, OS I-61 for Owl Sector records assigned to incident transmission. I've been tasked with returning to the Dust Palace on Mars, which as far as we know is the only link between the Guardians first affected by these overrides. Appropriate contamination equipment has been requisitioned, although specs are for the Dawn Calamity and have not been adjusted. The Owl Sector has determined that our acutest need is information, which is where I come in. The area of interest includes former Clovis Braze buildings, so I expect my skills in cryptography, biosignature falsification, and historical architecture to be thoroughly exercised. Then finally, the last chat log that has been released since I've seen it is clearly a record of the Vanguard and Cade 6 and Zavala and Ikora Ray talking. Cade 6 starts off by saying, "I don't see the harm in it. A little mysterious fun, some ka-ching to our usual pew-pew. Didn't you take candy from strangers when you were newborn in the light?" And Zavala said, "No, I did not." Ikora Ray says, "This isn't candy, Cade." The Owl Sector reports a highly contagious armor systems override. If you'd stop clowning around for a moment and think, Zavala says, "What protocols are the Owl Sector implementing?" Ikora Ray then said, "The liaison asked me what to do." Cade 6 says, "That's a new one." Both the Owl Sector and my Hidden have been unable to gain control of these overrides. I suggest quarantine as a stopgap. Lodging an objection based upon previous experience. Zavala says she's right, though. It's the best option at the moment. Ikora Ray finally says, the only option. So that's all we've got so far. We're still waiting for Glory and Fortitude to come into the stream, then come into the light so we can check that out, guys. So when that does come out and we know a little bit more about that information, I will make sure that I update you on the latest and greatest information about this. I think it's just a way to get the hype train rolling. Clearly, that's something important in the aspect of the Dawn Calamity. That seems to be something that's very important, as well as this new introduction to the Owl Sector. I wonder if they're going to play a certain piece into the puzzle of the new Rise of Iron expansion. We'll just have to find out. So guys, thank you so much again for watching. Again, if you've got any information on this, please leave something down in the comment section below. Feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. And guys, I will see you next time in the universe of Destiny.